What if every movie made outside the United States suddenly faced a massive new tax before it could reach American audiences? That's the bold new proposal from President Donald Trump, who has just announced plans to slap a 100% tariff on all foreign-made films, move that could reshape the global film industry and your local cinema. President Trump made the announcement on his social media platform, stating that he's directing the U.S. Trade Representative to begin the process of imposing this hefty levy. According to Trump, the American film industry is in steep decline, and he blames what he calls a coordinated effort by other countries to lure filmmakers and studios away from the U.S. with attractive incentives. He's gone so far as to label this trend a threat to national security, arguing that foreign films are not just entertainment, but also vehicles for messaging and propaganda. In his own words, "We want movies made in America again." Trump's message is clear. He wants to see Hollywood return to its former glory, with more productions taking place on American soil. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has responded, saying the administration is already working on the details. However, there's still a lot of uncertainty. For example, it's not clear whether these tariffs would also apply to American studios that choose to film overseas, a common practice for big-budget productions seeking unique locations or lower costs. Recent blockbusters like Deadpool and Wolverine, Wicked and Gladiator 2 were all filmed outside the U.S., raising questions about how this policy might impact the industry's biggest players. Since returning to office in January, President Trump has reignited trade tensions with countries around the world, arguing that tariffs are necessary to protect American jobs and industries. But these moves have sent shockwaves through the global economy, the prices rising and international relations growing more strained. Before his inauguration, Trump appointed 3 well-known actors, Jon Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone, as special ambassadors to promote business opportunities in Hollywood. He described the film industry as great but very troubled, and tasked these stars with helping to bring film production back to the U.S., promising to make Hollywood bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Despite these efforts, the U.S. remains a major player in global film production, but the numbers are slipping. According to industry research firm ProdPro, production spending in the U.S. last year totaled $14.54 billion, a significant 26% drop from 2022. Meanwhile, countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the UK have seen a surge in film production spending, thanks in part to their own government incentives. The ripple effects of Trump's trade policies are already being felt. In April, China announced it would reduce the number of American films allowed into its theaters, citing the U.S.'s abuse of tariffs as the reason. China Film Administration warned that these actions would only make Chinese audiences less interested in American movies, and said it would moderately reduce imports of U.S. films in response. And it's not just the film industry feeling the impact. Trump has imposed some of the toughest tariffs yet on Chinese goods, with some import taxes reaching as high as 145%. When combined with existing tariffs, the total levies on certain Chinese products could hit 245%. China has retaliated with a 125% import duty on American goods. Other countries are currently facing a blanket 10% U.S. tariff, at least until a pause on higher rates expires in July. Speaking to reporters on Air Force One, President Trump said he's in talks with several countries, including China, about new trade deals. However, he made it clear that he has no immediate plans to speak with Chinese President Xi Jinping, despite earlier reports of possible negotiations. Trump hinted that new trade agreements could be announced soon, but offered no specifics. In a recent interview, Trump suggested he might eventually lower tariffs on China, acknowledging that high tariffs make it difficult to do business. He also mentioned the ongoing situation with TikTok, the popular video app owned by China's ByteDance. Trump has already extended the deadline for ByteDance to sell TikTok's U.S. operations twice, and the company now has until June 19th to reach a deal. Talks have stalled, in part due to the new tariffs. So, what does all this mean for you? If these tariffs go into effect, you could see fewer international films in U.S. theaters, higher ticket prices, and less variety on streaming platforms. The move could also discourage American studios from filming abroad, potentially raising production costs and limiting creative options. This is a pivotal moment for Hollywood and the global film industry. Will these tariffs revive American filmmaking, or will they backfire, leading to higher costs, fewer choices, and strained international relationships. We want to hear from you. Do you support these new tariffs, or do you think they'll do more harm than good? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this developing story. Stay tuned as we continue to follow the twists and turns of this major policy shift and what it means for the movies you love.